Entangled in the Land. The morning gave a promise, with a smile of the sun, the promise of a warm day. It had rained so much that the birds deserted the sky and nested themselves in trees. The shrubs and leaves were as succulent as could be. The soil was damp enough, willing to swallow the seeds reserved for planting. Ife's eyes lacked the sparkles that blended with the morning. She had cried all night, silent tears. Her sobs were muted by the pain that her heart had carried for years. She misses Kolade, so much so that she had wished she were the one who left in his stead. Kolade Dapo was a charmingly handsome man. His greats were the demeanors that were too obvious to be noticed. He was a young farmer who inherited the seeds and soil from his father. History had it that his great-grandfather was the first man to successfully cultivate cocoa in Indari. It blossomed so well that he was nicknamed Baba Cocoa, more than his resilience and the exploits he made from the farm. Kolade was such a sweet human. He was on the lips of almost all the young maidens in Indari. They said that any woman who had him must have gone to Babalawo to get some love potion. It could be true, because anyone who hadn't heard of him was probably a stranger who had just come into the village. Kolade was too good to be true. They say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but love also resides in the heart of the one who bears it. The first day they met, Kolade couldn't keep his mind off her. This was very unusual. He felt something strange, like charges surging through his body as his eyes gazed at the hazel-eyed, ebony-skinned, and finely curved slender woman. This wasn't any usual glance. For a moment, the whole world was on a pause, and it took the gong of the village town crier to play the word again. It was barely the third year of marriage when Kolade was mysteriously killed in cold blood. The sudden death traumatized Ife greatly. For 2 years, she mourned him every morning. She had shed ashes on his grave, and on some days, flowers. Life had served her a sour meal after a sumptuous one. Ife was just an unfortunate 23-year-old lady who had to fight battles she knew nothing about. Growing up, she never had the chance to meet her mother. With 4 siblings to cater for, she worked so hard to ensure she could fill the gap her mother left. Some said her father caused it. He squandered his money on other women and had little time for his own family. When he became ill, Ife's mom left him with her to pay back all he did. His mistress took care of him, so he married her a few years after his health was restored. Life was beginning to seem fine, not until his mistress died while giving birth to her last child, turning Ife to become a nursing mother. At 13, she had engaged in several jobs to ensure her siblings were fine. Her father was still alive, but he wasn't strong enough to engage in hectic jobs due to his respiratory condition. Ife's dad was a chain smoker, and he began to tell on his health while he aged. Getting married to Kolade was a rescue route for her. He was wealthy enough to cater for her family, and that was one thing she was grateful for. She wasn't ready to lose the privileges she had in Kolade's house. Her life had taken a turn that she had vowed never to go back to her father's house. How long would you keep mourning your husband? We have given you enough time, and now we want you to move on. Kolade's father spoke. He reached out to her in the room that morning. He barely spoke, but his word had some depth that Ife couldn't help but listen. Move on from where, Baba? It will never be well with those who took his life, she cried. The conversation ended with a decision that Ife was stuck in. She was asked to marry Adelekong, Kolade's immediate younger brother, if she still wanted to retain her husband's possession. Else, she would leave without even a pin from the house. She wrestled within her thoughts. She wasn't ready to go back to the crumbs of her life, if that would make her slowly forget the memories of her late husband and preserve his wealth. She would do it. She knew her happiness was at stake, but this was the only option she thought was right. So she took the feat. Adelekong wasn't bad after all. He was handsome and a very cheerful one at that. He made her laugh, even when she felt no reason to, and she was beginning to enjoy his companionship. Slowly, the memories of Kolade were fading from her mind, but she never knew that she never loved Ade. The only thing that comforted her was the consistent provision she had. Before anyone calls Ife materialistic and greedy, she had experienced so much lack and struggle that the sound of it ached her head. Not wanting to suffer was a valid reason for marrying a man she never loved. 3 months later, Ife realized she was pregnant. She had mixed feelings. She was happy that Ade had given her what Kolade couldn't, but sad that the child wasn't from the man who truly loved her. She bottled the feelings and hid her fears. At least I'm still here, and nothing would take me away, she muttered. Ade was glad that he would be a father soon. He showed Ife the care that every man would show his pregnant wife. Life was a little easier for Ife now. She glowed even down to her last trimester. A girl? At this scream, he was happy that his wife and child were fine, but so disappointed in the gender. He needed an heir to all Koladi's possessions. Just this one thing, and Ife couldn't give him. The once cheerful Ade becomes a shadow of Ife's hopes. He hated her even more than he had ever loved her. Gradually, he transformed Ife into a punching bag. A child who was meant to bring joy to her became a worse nightmare. The food was still on the table, but her voice was gone. The roof remained, but her peace fled. Each day she stayed, the land demanded more. Her joy, her dignity, her blood. She mistook provision for destiny and safety for purpose. Ife was determined. She wanted him to change. She had wished that she could get the gender of her child earlier and switch it. That was how desperate she was. She had worked so hard to be here, and leaving the Dapples was like welcoming poverty again. Over my dead body. What will I tell my siblings? What standard will I set for them? Is it that of a weakling? I must stay and fight, she spoke to herself. Ife kept fighting a lost battle. Ade had stolen a huge portion of Koladi's cocoa farm, and what was left was not even able to fend for herself for 2 years. She was broken. Too broken to ever be fixed. She lost everything. First, she lost the man who loved her. Now, she has lost the only reason she married him. The guilt had dawned on her this time. For the first time, she regretted why she had done it in the first place. And now, everything she had wished for, all gone down the drain. Leaving would mean hunger. Staying meant survival. And like the children of Israel who preferred onions to freedom, Ife chose what she could see over what she was promised. Greed keeps you stuck, tangled and crippled without a way out. Never keep your eyes on what is temporal. There's always a way for you. Everyone has a path of life, but the blessings you have should not be at the detriment of another. A place might feel comfortable or safe, but if it is not destiny, it will lead to doom. Not every place that fits you is meant to keep you. Not every comfort is a blessing. Some lands sustain you only to enslave you.